Okay, so hopefully you can hear me now. I will probably switch between the two mics, depending which one picks me up best. And I'm already telling that my main mic isn't picking me up properly, so that's still underneath. These testing, so we'll switch to auxiliary 2. So, headset mic it is then. So I apologise, I'm running a bit late because of tech issues. First, OBS didn't want to load up, despite everything we've done. And now it's doesn't want to connect to the platforms. So Twitch keeps saying it's offline when it isn't. And then its counterpart with the K also said the same thing. Right. I'm only going to be wearing one compression glove today. It's a bit hard to put compression gloves over this because it catches on everything and unravels. And for those wondering, yes, I am okay. It's just a cat bite. I say just. Cat bites can be dangerous. Right, so I'll put that over there. Got that. I've got paints behind me and everything, although they're not where I'd like them to be. So yeah, everything's a little bit organised chaos right now. Well, it's not even organised right now, actually. And I've got to sort the screen behind me out. Oh, I can't pull that, not without pulling it down. Right. No, it's fine. Right. So let's get these paints sorted. So everything's a bit last minute. I apologise, people. So you're here watching me during setup at the same time, rather than torment you with an endless intro screen. God, that paint's that's heavy. When do paints get heavy? So metallic set there. Starter set there. Other paints there. Right. And bag of paints there. So that's all the paints accounted for. It's all set behind me. Right. So let's finish with this guy, because this is where we left off last stream. Sorry you can't watch the stream for this guy on... excuse me, I can hear myself and it's annoying me now. There we go. I hadn't muted one of my feeds in the background. So yeah, the stream on YouTube has been hit with a copyright claim. The type that actually gets your video blocked. Not a copyright strike yet. It is in contest. Because one particular music artist has used MFCC's copyright-free copyright-free royalty-free music as their own. And this, in turn, is earned us a strike, because one artist is saying, oh, well, it's ours. The other one's like, no, it's ours. And the one that's given us the strike is the one that's basically most likely pinched MFCC's music. Or they've used a similar program and come up with the same beat. Either is possible. So, yeah, that's in contest right now. We were using it as an MFCC copyright one. And the other guy is claiming it's his beat. I won't go into detail because I don't want to bring hate or anything onto him. It is being contested. It's just a matter of seeing where it goes from here. It's actually quite annoying. because it was supposed to be copyright-free background music. So there we go. Things happen, I guess. So yes, I'm just going to be streaming these things for a while now until I've got my own music sorted. I'm actually going to start making my own music mixes. I can't guarantee they'll be any good. I haven't done music in a very, very long time. And I don't think I was very good at it at school either, so to be fair, it might be rubbish. But we shall see. I will leave that up to your opinion when the time comes. Right, I want my paintbrushes there. Right. So we're going to put our light on. Straighten that light out. Okay, so we actually need to do some contrasting work on this then. Do I have a white? I think I do, but it's in that paint set. Although a very light grey would do the same job. Let's see what greys we have. And oh look, Mike. Nuln Oil. Yes, it's a liner paint, right? If Mike's watching, he'll know what I mean. We've been trolling poor Mike all morning about liner paints. They're a line of paints, not to be confused with liner paints. They are a line of paints, in much the same way that there's base coats, primers, and so on, that are basically copying the old inks. They're a form of speed paint. They're a bit thicker than watery washes, but they're still very thin. But they contain high pigments. So basically, they're a form of ink wash, and calling them wash is probably still doing them a disservice. But they are basically a watery, high pigmentized paint that does a better job than washes in contrasting, because as the paint runs away, it leaves a sort of thinner layer in its wake, which gives you a better contrast. So it's in effect, they're somewhere between washes and contrasts, in a sense. I haven't worked with the new liner paints. I've worked with inks. I used to be an ink painter, so I get the concept of liner paints. But to be honest, until today, I hadn't really heard of them. Do we have a light? Oh, we do. Here we are, Codex Grey. Hopefully, this hasn't got the consistency of clotted cream. If it has, we're in trouble. Right. Where's my sponge? Oh, there, hiding in an organised location. What are you doing hiding in an organised location? What's wrong with you, sponge? Right. Do you mind? You're not supposed to stick that far down my wrist. You're supposed to stay stuck there to the rest of this stuff. I'm sorry, nursey person. It keeps coming unstuck. This is a very awkward place. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. This is... Ow. Thank you. This is not as bad as it looks. The bandage is actually covering more than is actually happening. Hello, Kilo. So there's actually a small cat bite right here. And it's got... unfortunately, it's gotten infected. But because it's in such a weird location, no plaster will stay stuck. So they've mummified the hand. Hopefully it should be okay in a few days and look like nothing more than a teenage pimple by the time it's done. But yeah, unfortunately it did get infected and it's had to be drained. I apologise. I've got a bit of a cough today. And I suspect it's from being burnt by pasta yesterday. I swallowed a whole lump of very hot pasta. And my throat is kindly reminding me, you swallowed a whole lump of pasta yesterday. So we just need to contrast. I should have dry brushed these really, but I was feeling lazy. And of course, that's probably gone and made more work for myself, hasn't it? Ah, itchy nose now. So yeah, there won't be any music today on stream, sorry. I mean, I like to work with music, but if I want to upload this later, it can't have music. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to get to making my own music. And then if anyone copyright strikes it, I'll be like, excuse me, I own this. I'm sorry, MFCC. I mean, your stuff is awesome. But there's this one person that's caused trouble. So, I apologise. I'm probably going to have to cancel my Patreon. Well, I don't see why I should. But, yeah. Come here, scissors. Got a straight bristle, and it's going to cause trouble if I don't snip it off now. At least they work. At least what work. Oh, yeah, I spent ages yesterday fixing the sound alerts. There's currently no blurps, though, so ignore the blurps. And yes, why YouTube really is stupid. It's like the copyrights all the wrong people. So let's say you're an artist on YouTube. Let's say you made your own songs on YouTube. Some rando can come along, steal your song, claim it's theirs, and then copyright you. And instead, because YouTube just uses a stupid algorithm instead of real people, it's very difficult to contest. So artists are losing their work and getting copyright struck by these thieves and scammers. And you can't really you have to get legal people involved before YouTube will pull their lazy thumbs out. AI can't replace people yet. It's not ready. So using AI in place of people is a cheap cop-out. And this, unfortunately, is why the YouTube platform is dying. People are leaving it. They're going to things like Telegram and other platforms. Even Twitch is shooting itself in the foot at the minute, but at least they're still trying to win people back, I guess. Kind of. I'm not going to give them too much credit, but they're still trying. And that, for the moment, is brownie points. And that's it. That's kind of where it ends, because I've got a friend who was banned for 3 hours for no reason whatsoever, and they didn't like his name, but they do nothing about the person trolling him. Looking at you here, Twitch, and what you did to Mike Moans. Yeah, we don't easily forgive in this community. Well, we do, but we don't forget. And that's why people are typically leaving the platforms. Businesses also need to get their ideas straight. You know, YouTube isn't the only streaming and publishing platform out there. There's all kinds of other platforms out there. So they need to broaden their perspective and modernise a bit. You know, don't just stick to one platform, but spread out across all of them. It's what they're there for. They're social media. The name implies what they are. Now, if it becomes problematic for me to paint today, I will probably turn this into a gaming stream. We shall see. Hopefully not. I'm going to keep arguing with this particular piece of micropore here. I might have to cut. Actually, I might just do that. Sorry, nurse lady. You're probably going to shout at me when you see what I'm doing. Well, shout at me in a firm but fair way that's not shouting. Mentally shout at me. Just one jiggle which is open to all mic. Just one jingle which is open to all on McGrunt Garage Band. Am I reading this right? I'm not going to jump into Discord because it gets too distracting when I'm trying to watch my chat, talk to people in Discord and paint. It's too much for my ADHD brain. And we'll tone this down again with a non-oil wash possibly, or I might make my own wash. Oh, and Mike, just if you are dropping by, to stop your washes going stagnant, might I suggest airbrush paint thinner? It's far less smelly, and you don't go stagnant. It doesn't go stagnant. Just a suggestion. I mean, obviously we've all got hundreds of different ways, but I've discovered that between using paint thinners and doing it with water and washing up liquid, paint thinners is by far the least yucky for smelling after about a week. And I could gas a room out with some of these Citadel washes. As soon as they're open, oof. 2 days later, oof. Yep. And yes, I have hard coated this strangely enough, but I did notice yesterday that it needed highlights. Speaking of neon oil, right, we'll let that dry over there a minute. We've got this guy to finish. Got his head here. She's looking about ready to pop on actually. Arms there, they can go there a minute. Let's get his head on. Yes. Mac OS has... Yeah, well, I don't have Mac OS, and I don't have a computer to support it right now, so Mac OS isn't going to be a thing I can do anytime soon. Go on, glue. Right. Just get glue on my thing there. Alright, we've got to remove this head from this thing. Where's my snips? There they are. Snips for horrible jobs, basically. Snips that have been bent over time. So we stuck him on the toothpick because he didn't want to actually stay on the head pole. Just hold him like that a minute. More work here and there to do on him. Now to play with his pose. Now, do we have him like that? Or should we have him like that? I think he looks far less static if I have him up like that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right. Let's get my stupid glue again. So let me finish off the paintwork and attach any more green stuff before we start. Not too much glue. Teeny bit of glue. There we go. Just getting him in proper pose. So that they can stick. And there's the reference. So I'll put that there for a minute just to get him to, there we are. Hold him there for a minute, hopefully. Still got to finish his cloak, that's why I'm not putting it on now. But I want it to just snap into place properly. Just keep him there, he can go over in the corner and dry for a minute. I can get him to stay standing up, because now he's a little bit top heavy. There we go. Alright, so let's carry on working with this cloak, and then we'll get to another Moratat from the looks of him. Yeah.
Two variants, so we can have gaps and jump. You said it looked cool.
Yep.
I made sure I've got two different guns. Plasma pistols and bolt kite serpenta.
I'll leave you alone for a second and you fall over. Let me see. Okay, so I better catch up. I meant because if they ask, you know where from. Oh, right, okay. And oh, I got my funding for driving. Brilliant. Wilco's cheap stuff was brilliant and stayed stuck. Are we talking about glue there? I've never used the Wilco's glue, so I've never found out. Yeah, never played with the Wilco's glue. To be honest, Revel usually does a good job. It's just not very good with resin. He can go back over there. I'll bring the cloak back because we're working on the lion tail. I've got a bubble that won't pop. That's a new one. Right. But yeah, I apologise that I've got such a boring stream. I do usually like my music, and unfortunately, I can't have it. All because of one con artist that's made a false claim for somebody else. As for the two artists themselves, I'm not sure either way, so that's something they'd have to sort out between themselves. And just to reiterate, folks, I have legitimate ways of asking you for monies, and I'd prefer that you not pay me, quite frankly. I don't do streaming as a business, I do it as a hobby. And I bring you along for my different journeys that I take, this being one of them, relearning how to paint. And I ask that you instead donate to charities. So please don't subscribe to me. Please, give your money to, in this case, Elm Wildlife. Sorry, I'm still in Gosh mode. But our Gosh fundraiser has been retired until September, where I'll be setting up a new team. So if anyone's interested in joining our Tiffy teams for Great Ormond Street Hospital, please drop into our Discord chat and get in and creep into the charity part category of it, and let yourselves be known, and I will walk you through the process as and when we set up the team. As for Elm Wildlife, unfortunately the owner is not, shall we say, modern tech savvy. I'm not going to say he's tech phobic, but he is not quite as tech savvy as he could be, and also doesn't have the time to fiddle with a lot of the forms in order to get himself recognised on likes of Twitch and Tiltiffy. He's got himself recognised on GoFundMe because it's pretty easy to set up there. But then, to be fair, so is PayPal and everything else, but he just doesn't have the time to sit and fill out the forms. So we're having to use the GoFundMe he set up because that's the big overall target. So I apologise, but yes, Elm Wildlife is using a GoFundMe to help raise the funds to relocate his wildlife centre. He's also in the process of trying to sell his house. Should we do Macmillan as another charity? I'll look into Macmillan first. Like I said, it depends what you guys want to do, really. I'm doing Elm Wildlife because we do still need to get him sorted. But yeah, you know, I'm open to discussion out in our charity part of the thing. That's what it's there for you guys to chat about, come up with ideas, vote on which charity you want to support next. I'm all for that. That's the whole point of it. So by all means, have discussions. I'm waiting for our youngest member to be able to come of age so I can let him in on the teams. I don't think I have dark brown. Oh, I do. I've got vermin brown here. Probably got the consistency of clotted cream. So, yeah, if anyone wants to join these things, type in !clan to get the clan links up. And it'll bring up our Discord, or alternatively !Discord, and it'll bring the link up. The commands are in the About tabs. I do need to disable the Gosh one because, as I said, that fundraiser has now been retired. Although we didn't meet the £300 target, people, so no fox ears. Sorry. Nobody gets to torment me with the fox ears this time. I do still need to fiddle with some settings, so some settings may still not be working after the complete clean reinstall of OBS. So again, I apologise for that, folks. But the reinstall was needed. Too many things were crashing. I couldn't load it with my background processes. It was basically, it just needed cleaning up. We have 3 from the UK and 1 from New Zealand. Yeah, but I don't necessarily want to drag everyone in if they don't want to be involved. Being involved in the Lonewolf Clan team for fundraising is purely voluntary. As I keep having to reiterate to people, Lonewolf Clan does not make money as an entity. Our streamers, on the other hand, may have their own things set up on their own streams, but on the Lonewolf Clan bit, we don't, as an entity, make money. We are individual gamers and streamers that have just come together out of a common interest of love of gaming and random nerdy things. But yeah, we are not a business. We are just a little gaming clan of a bunch of like-minded folks that are to get there to chill, have fun, and not be too pestered. My 3D printer head blew on my printer due to an issue. Okay. I can't really help with 3D printing as I've never really actually got into it properly. Painting in some highlights with Abaddon Black, because I am going to tone this down in a minute with quite strong washes. And I want a decent contrast popping up. It was a factory issue. I have a new one turning up. Oh, fun. See, this is why I research whatever I'm going to buy or get long before I get it. See, this stuff is catching on. The seriously thing I hate about micropores, it doesn't stay stuck anymore. Where's my Caliban green? It's Waystone. There it is. Got a mistake to fix by the tail. The tail paint managed to overflow onto the cloaks paint. Not something I really want. Oh, and the weather may also be interfering with bandwidth. We've got wind and heavy rain here again. Seems to be no break to it. Just endless wind and heavy rain. Endlessly bugging us. That is a bit of the tail, right. I'll make sure before I paint it green. Sorry if I'm not keeping up with the chat, but sometimes certain details require a certain level of attention. I can't keep looking up at the chats. Okay. Other side now. Pics on on Discord. Okay, well I haven't got the screen thing set up to switch over to Discord just yet. That is something I do plan to rectify soon. This paintbrush since 2011. It's only now starting to fray, and shockingly, it's an old Citadel brush. Sometimes they do good stuff, just sometimes, although I can't attest to current Citadel brushes because I haven't got any current generation Citadel brushes, but I can attest to this 2011 one. Still going strong. I mean, it's not a fine detail brush anymore, but it's still a fine brush. It lost its fine detail brush probably about 5-6 uses in, but it's still not a brush that's been downgraded to horrible jobs. It's just been downgraded from fine detail to simple detail. Let me just call up the proper chat so I can see all chats. Make sure nobody's getting left out. Nope. Right, good. Grimsy gave me a new idea for Friday night and a game to play as a 5 spots. And it's free. I will have a look later. I can't guarantee it's what we'll play this week, but if I think it's probably going to be good enough, I might play it next week. But if you guys want to do your own stream and whatnot, go ahead. You don't actually have to wait for me to do Fright Night Fridays. Where's my bowel red? I know I have that stinky old wash around here somewhere. One Bal Red wash. This one is a slightly metallic wash. It's got little gold flecks in it. And it stinks. I can't even describe its stink, but it is horrible. Okay, so my number 2 that's been downgraded to a wash brush. Oof. Oof. That's all I can say to this. Oof. Just metallic enough to make the reds stand out. And just dark enough to make it look like leather. Because that does contain metallic flecks. That needs to go in the soapy wash. Where do you think you're going? If you can do that, go sit over there. Now I need the purple wash. There it is, Leviathan. Now for another stinky wash. So this is Leviathan purple. It's one of the old Citadel washes. back before they named them tactical and so on. Oh, good grief. Ugh, I thought the red was bad. Still going to probably end up wearing more of this than I paint onto the miniature. Paint this over the purple bits, just to give it some leathery contrast, because it's supposed to be a royal purple colour. Oh, it smellies. It's like Gollum asking what's taters and then going on that you've ruined it. This is smellies. You could tell they're awash and that the water's gone stagnant. Oof. Had these since 2011 as well. God knows how they've survived. Let those dry now. Close that smelly thing. Yeah. Have a quick drink because my throat's drying out. I would argue that a place where there's a lot of let's say a rubbish heap, a garbage heap, smells better than diesel washes. Or a septic tank probably also smells better than these washes. There's devilish mud. I don't need that one. What I need is a nice contrast on that white thing. Is Seraphim Sepia too brown? That's Ogre Flesh. That's definitely too brown. Right. Oh well. Let's have a look. Worst case scenario. I have to do what, pale highlights? Sewage pit. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Still better than this. Ugh. Still smell them even though I've closed the pots. Right, so here's a new Seraphim Sepia. Not smelly yet. And if it keeps up, I'll start making my own washes. Need little pots first. Tail as well, give it a brownish desert look to it because it's a lion's tail after all. Not too worried about it getting on the green because we will be toning down the greens anyway and adding more contrast. I can go dry over there for a minute. Bring him over. He should be dry enough to handle by now. Aha. We have a piece of purple we haven't painted. Okay. Where is that royal purple? This is not a wash. Too light. Too watery. Too watery. Where is it? Yeah. Use rubbing alcohol for them. It's stuck in your nose. Oh, no, no, and I'm not putting rubbing alcohol up my nose either. That will trigger a nosebleed. We are not doing that. First wondering why I'm painting detail that no one else will see but I know about? The answer is, I know about it. It will bug me. It will annoy me. This is, I have to admit, my bane. My head runs over. Well, what if the cloak falls off? You see that great big horrible bold unpainted patch? And I'll be like, yeah, I know about it. Okay. So I need to highlight that with gold. That needs to be painted gold. That needs to be washed over with a paler red shade. And Kilo can attest that I don't like to leave any detail undone. He has a Land Raider I painted for him. You take that Land Raider to pieces, all the insides are painted. When you make your washes, use rubbing alcohol. No, I use rubbing alcohol for something entirely different. I use alcohol for my airbrush paints. When it comes to washes, they're basically just watery paints. Most people use water. It's the water that ends up stinking. So I actually just use paint thinner. I'd rather the smell of the paint thinner than the smell of stagnant water. Far less horrible. Where is my gold? Oh, there it is, staring at me in the bag. Why have I opened this before shaking it? Duh. Right. Okay, so my eyes thought that was falling then. Yeah, the Land Raider inside is brilliant. Looks like a real people on the inside. However, it is a blue water camo I did, which even now I want to repaint, but it's my first Warhammer. Yes, the first one is always one that'll end up forever being repainted. This was a lesson I learnt. I'm painting that silver in a minute. There they are. I knew there was gold skulls somewhere on him. There is an art form to doing the camo, and even I have to admit, without an airbrush, I can't do camo. Because you've got trying to mimic the way the army do their camo, and for that you need stencils and stuff, or tape to go over in a certain way, and then spray it from a distance, and then overlay the tape on areas you've painted, and hope that the tape doesn't pick up what you've just painted and ruin all your paintwork. And yeah, it's pretty tricky. Stray cat hair. Want to repaint it, but it's my first Warhammer. And then we come back to that problem. Okay, I really need to sort out my Botrix. It's before I lost my mum. Kilo, I'm going to have words with you about that later. Nothing bad, I promise. Just, some friend advice that's best left off stream. And yeah, like I promise, it's nothing bad. Why is there still so much water on this? Right, now for the smelly Nuln oil. Oh no! No! Bad! His arms haven't stuck. So after all that, and I was hoping to start painting him properly, his arms haven't stuck. Well, you can go over there and your wash can dry now. I feel really off my flow without doing this with music. There's always that one scammer that has to ruin it for everyone. Oh yeah, we need it on there as well. Too thick. I can go over there and dry now as well. So that project being okay, a bit on okay, on a bit after stream, yep. Okay, so we have a Moritat. Another one. This one has different rails, but rails always need to be bent. And while these are flexible, they are still resin. So we learnt from last Moritat that needs to go directly onto the backpack before we do anything else. Because it is so small, it likes to get lost. I'm going to mess with my car for later, and I'm doing a run up to the lakes in the car and was meant to put bits in the car last night. Yeah, go do that while it's light and hopefully while it's not raining. It's proper snips now. Where are they? There they are. That one tool we'll go through faster than we can keep tabs on. Take off that bit. Now, unlike the other one, I would like this one to face forwards. So, where is my glue? There it is. No. That is forward. So this one we would like there. So if there's any problems, I can fix it now. Nope, that's not forward. That is forward. I can go sit over there and he can dry for a minute. Right. Another blank base. The last time we put this on one of our painted bases. I think a blank base would do this one some credit because I can build up around it. These little bits. Pop them in the bin behind me. Right, let's find us a base that he's supposed to fit on. Last Moritat went on one of them. Why is it when you come back to something, you discover that somehow, in some way, a hair has managed to get into the base coat of your painting? really need to get the lighter on these. They're so covered in glue. Right. Come here, hair. Get off. Right, there. Okay, that's an already hard coated base for other jobs. So test our hard coat. Right then. Glue. The cat may have actually done me a favour with that bite. Or it might be just this that's holding it in place and stopping it from doing its thing that it likes to do. Press that down onto that. Let that go over there and dry now. And there's the Moritat himself. So let's see if I can get him to stand correctly. Always felt that these were a little bit too... Now, there we go. So he needs to come in from that side this time. We shall get the trick of all tricks up. The painting handle. Unless I can temporarily glue him to our thing for other jobs. That fit in there though. We need the bigger one. We need the bigger one. Temporarily glue him to this. While we wait for that glue to dry, have another sip of tea. You see, if I got music I can listen to, but you lot can't hear. Gonna check my stream feed. Hopefully you can't hear anything in the background. For those wondering, I am listening to Two Steps from Hell, the Victory album. Just so you guys can go look it up and listen to it for yourselves. You glued on yet? Kinda. Kinda not. God damn it.
It's behaving already.
Look, this is your temporary base. Your actual base is being, well, glued and getting prepped for being painted and stuff. You need to sit here on your temporary base so I can paint you properly. And the reason I need him to do that is so I can heat these into place. Ugh. Now my headset's coming off. I think I'll paint the rock on that first, and then we'll put the basing painting on around. That's nowhere near dry enough yet. I'm sure I'm missing a part. Oh, that's because it's over there, right under my eyes, where I can't see it because of magnifying glasses. Are we dry yet? Can we start pinning other bits and pieces to you yet? just want to handle him as little as possible. Where's that glue? Move that over there a minute. Let those dry. It's that. Keep a half eye on him. Bring this stuff over again. How are we doing? Right. Silver. Where's my bolt gun? Which is chainmail. There we go. So, lead bleacher we're going to use instead because I can't find my bolt gun. I also think my bolt gun's gone a bit grainy anyway. It's my Kolinsky superfine detail. And by superfine, I mean we're down to one hair on it. Just to get rid of some of the yellow that's got overpainted onto the rocket launch. Oh, sorry, rocket launch is backpack. So I'm concentrating. Itchy nose syndrome again. Ah, too much paint on my brush now. Typical. Can I get these metal rings painted into his cloak? I might just do that red just because it'll pop more. Paint arm's still staying on. Good. No! I'm dropping it out of my hands. No! That's all we need to fix so he stays glued. And the soapy wash. Just put your arms on again, matey. I would like to be able to properly paint them. I can't do that until they're in proper place. Cloak to lock them into place. His cloak goes on like that, and his arms are supposed to go like that. Do not want cloak stuck there yet, though. Let's keep him safe a minute. Right, so while I wait for the wash to dry on that, do these guns. Why am I looking over there for the brush, for the paint I have here, and the brush I have here? Oh yeah. Now, I'm strangely listening to a song from Two Steps. It reminds me that I need to catch up on Attack on Titan. Just have to remember not to binge watch Attack on Titan because last time it left me with nightmares. That was an interesting experience. Whee! Make sure it's all nice and silver. So when I brush it down later. Ah! That's typical. Just as you're painting it, you find a missing piece of fleck that you don't see until you've painted it. Get at that in a minute. Okay, where is my most dangerous implement? There it is. How to find it. There it is. Anything else that needs to be silver? Those bits done. Oops. Send that flying. Why don't I? Did I miss anything? Yeah, me dropping things. Putting music on that hopefully you can't hear. Arms not staying stuck on. That would be this guy. They seem stuck this time. Might actually be able to paint them silver now. When I get the right brush, if I don't keep dropping the brush. So didn't miss it. Did I miss anything? So the normal, yes, the normal, and nope, can't. That's the current in the car. Can't what in the current in the car? All this time. Don't you dare splay on me now. We've had you too long for you to splay now. Oh, music. Okay. Yeah, it's about a 30-second delay between you telling me something on chat and me saying it, I think. So it's kind of crazy that you kind of need to keep providing context on this thing. Nope, not thick enough. Nope, too splayed. Yeah, I see I need to add to it. I'm debating what to eat tonight. Yeah, I'm debating the same thing. What am I going to eat tonight? We had pasta yesterday and I scalded the back of my throat. Yeah, I don't have any ice cream though, do I? I do not keep it around the house during this time of year. It doesn't get eaten. It just sits there and turns this horrible slushy ice cream of not ice cream anymore. It's more like permafrost. Oat ice cream does not store well for long. He doesn't want to stay standing up now. Sometimes I dislike my flat in the winter. I love. Oh, sometimes I dislike my flat, but in the winter, I love no heating. Yeah, that's something I've come to loathe about my place. Is summer, it used to be easy to keep it cool, and in the winter, it used to be easy to keep it warm. You only needed one heater at the bottom of the stairs on. Since they put in really bad windows, really bad doors, and a stupid radon fan that we didn't need, and a cat apparently, it's been impossible to keep it warm in the winter because the warmth is just sucked right out of the house by this radon fan blowing in cold air from the attic.
Why have you got a busy tail?
Through all the holes in the doors and windows. So impossible to keep the heat in. And then in the summer, it's impossible to keep it cool, even with all the windows and doors open causing a through draft, because you're being blasted from the boiling heat of the attic straight down into the house. So you can't win. Ooh, turned into clotted cream while I wasn't looking.
Is that
Burnished gold. Oh. Do I need to put another mixing ball in there? I think we will. Right, so let's get me balls. So to clarify, we are talking these little ball bearings. Nothing rude. Although you can make all the jokes you want, chat. I'm not allowed to. And we will plop those in there. We'll give it a good old shake. Really need a machine to do this for me. Put all my paints on it once a day and let them get disturbed so they don't settle into clotted cream.
So they weren't saying words.
This thinner paint of gold. I'm not too worried about the Dalek bit getting some gold on it. Painting that much darker later. The thinner paint of gold might add some contrast to it. Wait, they meant to blow air out. What with her? Sometimes I just... Yeah, they do blow air out. Sorry, had to get back on track with what I was saying now. They are blowing air out in the form that's what the radon fan upstairs is doing. But it's taking air from the attic and blowing it down into the house. So the problem is the temperature of the air in the attic. In the summer, you could cook fried eggs up there if you wanted to. you know, we are talking the 40-degree summers we've been getting the last couple of years. You really could just cook stuff up there. You just, you know, put it in a box, put it in the attic, ignore it, and the sun does everything for you. But in the winter, it's the opposite. It's fucking freezing up there. And then that blows down the air. Now, apparently there's a heater on that air fan that's supposed to heat the air up to 12 degrees. Right. At what point does the air have time to heat up to 12 degrees before it is blown out? Because it's not like a hairdryer heater. It's far less potent. And to be honest, so far I've not noticed the difference even when we do have it on. So, aside from an electricity bill that's just absolutely astronomical, ever since they installed this blooming fan, our electricity bill's gone up tenfold. And then you add on to that all the inflation, which may as well be turned into record profits of companies, because that's actually what's going on. Then, you know, it's getting really unaffordable to run these houses. And on top of that, they're upping the rent this month. So we're now at the point where if you're on housing benefit or its equivalent, rent is now no longer covered because it's too expensive. Because of that benefit cap they threw on everyone in 2011. The one we call the bedroom tax. Well, it doesn't just affect bedroom tax. That's just the bit where they take off 14% per what they classify as a spare room. Even if that spare room is not a freaking spare room. And then there's where they say, oh, well, we'll only pay up to X amount on your rent. So all the social housings are taking their rent up 7% each month. It's getting completely unaffordable. Now, at the moment, it costs less if you got a mortgage about 5 years ago to pay your mortgage than it does to rent houses now. It's absolutely bonkers. I need the thicker gold. Where is it? That's Seraphim Sepia. That is silver. There it is. And my plasters are coming unstuck. This is why she mummified my hand, because plasters won't stay stuck on it. My skin does not like plasters. Oh, the air heater isn't broken. It's just not very good. Fairly sure I was just painting in that gold. It's this gold. Yeah, the one that is not clotted cream every time you open the top. New paints there because I'll need to file off and repaint there. How's he doing? So basically, the people I rent my house from have made it incredibly expensive to live in their falling apart, they refuse to do maintenance to houses. Every time I bring up a line that's appearing every time we have a minor earth shake, and we are talking so minor you can barely feel them. They're 1, maybe even 0.1 on the Richter scale, so they'd be considered microquakes. And whenever somewhere has a 3 point something here in the UK that's within our range, like up at Swansea, we feel it here, these cracks appear more frequently. But apparently it's just settlement cracks from years ago. Never mind, I'm watching these cracks appear on an almost weekly basis, and I'm forever saying, look, check this out, check this out. They just keep fobbing it off. So if it keeps up, I'm just going to get the council to come out and assess it, because they'll at least assess building safety properly, even if I don't fully trust them. But I trust them more than my landlord, who seem to fob off repairs endlessly, keep telling us that it's cost they're constantly training customer support. I mean, they go over customer support staff. How can I put this? The changeover in that is more frequently than a worker from a lady of the night worker, shall we call them, and clients in an hour. Because, you know, time is money for them. So I'm not dissing them. I feel sorry for people that have to work that line of work. But, you know, it would be nice if our housing association actually stopped spending on things they didn't need to spend on, stopped building houses to greenwash in the media, because they're constantly building greenwash houses by saying, oh, look at our eco-friendly houses. Never mind that our houses of the last 20 years are falling into massive disrepair. Look at these nice shiny new greenhouses. We can't get hold of a housing officer because they've made it so that we have no direct contact with our housing officers anymore. And they've also made it that we seem to be changing housing officers every week. So no problems are getting solved because nobody has a fixed housing officer for longer than 14 days. It's ridiculous. So in the meantime, I've got a kitchen that's been falling apart since 2007 that was supposed to have been replaced in 2005, and we were told it was supposed to have been replaced in 2003. I've got a roof that's got more tiles coming off it than I can keep track of. Luckily, so far, they're not leaking as of yet. I haven't been up there to check since the last storm. But it's just crazy. And yet they keep asking for more and more and more and more rent while they let us fall into disrepair. And then they'll say, oh, well, you know, we've shirked that responsibility now. It's tenant's job to do that repair or that repair. Now, I can understand not changing a light bulb, okay? Yes, that should be a tenant's duty. I can understand not entirely redecorating unless you've got the tenant's got a problem. Again, that leaves it down to tenant choice. What I don't appreciate is fob-offs when we're told we're going to get something and then we don't. And then when we ask about it, we're told, oh, it's not on budget again this year. And then when we have got existing what we call emergency repair jobs, naff all gets done. Some random person reports it as done, having never turned up to the property at all. Or worst of all, they'll say, oh, we knocked on the door but nobody was in, so the tenants get blamed. When in truth, the said so-called contractors never even turned up, or maybe they turned up to the wrong address. And people are, you know, putting their jobs and lives on hold to wait for these contractors that never show up. It's just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. We don't want waste stone green. I'm going to pull out the speed paints. not a wash. So glad I'm not using these in the airbrush. If I ever use these in the airbrush, I'll have to make sure I've got pre-mixed pots. Where's my dark earth green? There it is. Metallic green. Air bubbles for everyone today. I was wondering what these watery metallic paints are. There you go. I don't highly recommend them. They're great if you don't mind speed painting and doing them as multiple contrast layers. They're terrible though for painting in shades. Where did Abaddon Black go? Yeah. It's Orc Shade Green. Do we still have Abaddon Black on the table? Yes, that's why I can't find it. Duh. Right. Brush for horrible jobs. That is gold, not Abaddon Black. That is Abaddon Black. It's a slightly darker black than that Army Painter one. It's one great big runny mess because that Army Painter stuff is pretty thin. But that's fine for what I'm doing. Brush the horrible jobs can go in there now. Where is he? There he is. Getting base coated. Okay, the music I'm listening to is a bit churchy. It's okay, I don't mind some churchy music. I do find some churchy music relaxing. Actually, arguably, with Dark Angels, churchy music might be appropriate for them. Monster. Do you want to drop that in Foxconn for me, Grimsy? And I'll have a look at it when I come off stream. Or drop it in Stream Team on our Discord. So we can all have a look at it. Oh, I'm sorry, Twitch. I've made a stream team outside of your. You can only be a partner to do this, to have this feature. Yeah, okay. Well, it would be nice to have it on Twitch. Don't deny that. I'm not going to wait till partner to set up my team. We already had one pre-made. No! I've just found mold lines I missed. Oh, too late now. We'll make them a feature of his armour. Right. Make sure it's all a nice uniform-ish colour for painting properly later. Where's his guns? There they are. Wondering where his hands are. Right. Okay. Need to paint your backpack.
Jetpack.
Yep. Silver specks taken out that jetpack. Glimmering paint pot. Stop it. Right. Come on. He really doesn't like standing up, does he?
What? This Moratat?
Oh no, not the Moratat.
Corswain?
Yeah, Corswain does not like to stay stood up.
Has to be the law they've given him. And
No,
his name.
I think it's his big heavy sword. It makes him front heavy. That trouble we've had with Dark Angels so far, and the law that seems to attract paranormal activity to the models is ridiculous. Especially one particular Maddock.
I thought the cloak would have balanced it out.
I've not got his cloak on him yet.
Ah, so that might be it, yeah?
Yeah, it's most likely that I do not have his cloak on him yet. We're still doing the detail that would be in the way if I put the cloak on. No, it's his. Oh, there it is. I wonder where the non-Noria is gone. It's right here. Nope. Definitely not. There it is. Yeah. That's the one we're looking for. Too much. There it is. I was wondering, this is Solston Blue from Citadel. Again, another one that has the consistency of tomato ketchup, but it does look nice.
That's really calm.
That is, once you've painted about 6 layers in. It is a technical paint, so not really supposed to be thick. I was wondering why I might be painting this Moratat in Traitor Legion colours. It's because they take bits and pieces of armour to patch up their own armour when it's broken. So, what's abundant? Traitor Legions.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
The
Traitor
helmet's
Legions.
modified as well. It's got extra sensors.
This shade really isn't the same shade twice, this blue.
No, it ain't. Is that one of the new
I
ones?
think it's supposed to be a colour shift paint. But it doesn't exactly colour shift. It just changes colour, which in and of itself is pretty interesting. You'll be getting other colours later. We're just doing the blue now because I'm doing this Traitor Legion helmet. May as well do his Traitor Legion bits. That was Solston Blue.
So yeah, it's one of the shade.
It's, as you can see, it is a technical paint. I don't know if you can see it, but hang on. It doesn't like to close properly, so I'm constantly having to force it shut. And I think that might be as close as I'm going to get it for now. But yeah, it's a technical colour. They call it Solston Blue. And as you just saw, it can either come out this brilliant blue colour or a really dark navy colour. It depends on its mood. What is stopping it from setting properly? Nothing. Oh, never mind, I see. Right, we'll clear that out in a bit. Nope. Nope. Where is my black again? Not there, that's where. Right, so not there.
You finished your drink.
No, I haven't finished my drink.
That's kind of so.
So, everyone, Odin's just making sure I've drunk my drink, which means, for once, it's him prompting me.
Yeah. If you finished it, I'll do you a new one.
I haven't finished it. It's still warm, though, so don't worry.
Okay, I was just double checking. That's all.
That's what I'm telling you.
I know you don't like wasting it.
No, I really hate cold tea, you are correct. Well, except certain teas. Some teas are just better off drunk cold, but Earl Grey is not among them. Well, I found my Leviathan blue wash. Right. But that's still not the paint I'm looking for. My Abaddon Black has run away like Star Wars droids. This is not the droid you are looking for. There we are. Found it. It's hiding among the blues. Put blue wash over there because we'll need that later. Black. Oi, Paladin dude, come here. Right. We are not calling him by name because calling him by name will result in
activity.
Quite probably in paranormal activity like it did with a certain Maddock. Touching up his black bits. where I've accidentally got gold. Black is one of the hardest colours to paint and have it pop correctly, because it can either go wrong, very wrong, or really well. Sadly, there is no in between. It's just wrong, wrong, or okay. It's one of the reasons we chose not to go completely the dark colours of the first legions that we're told to go with the Horus Heresy lot, because they're founding legions and such. It's because black is a pain in the behind to paint. Plus, we also don't want to be the same as everybody else's armies.
Nice dark green, which matches their home planet, Caliban.
So we have gone near black with a very, very, very dark green that I've mixed.
You painstakingly took your time to mix. And
yeah. Okay.
Before you got it, correct?
I now know the exact mix to get, admittedly. I know what Elgin is trying to say over there. I do understand it.
Thank you.
He's trying to say that it took me ages to get the right mix. What it did actually take was ages for me to master the mix, which is fair enough. He's saying the same thing. And it did. Now I'm at the point now where I know exactly what measurements, without even having to wonder the ratio of the paints to get the green I'm looking for. And I've mixed it here on live stream many times.
Yeah. Only once it didn't come out the same. Even with the same mixture type.
There's only one time, yeah, and that was on Maddock. I swear that model is cursed.
He definitely was active.
Well, now he's varnished and padded and restricted into a padded cell for minis. You watch, the box will go flying now. Right, I've just said you watch, now his box is going to go flying.
It has moved.
Well, yeah, because I moved it.
Yeah.
So far. Let's add some little bit of black blending just to give it the idea of black. But we're not painting it all black. Just a little bit here and there. Just a hint, like a little accent. Just to darken it to the eye. And then I'll come along and do a bright green and make it all pop. By bright green, I mean Caliban green, which is not as dark as the rest of the green. Just paint a little accent here and there randomly so that it's not all in the same location. Just realised there's a bit of gold on that one I missed. I might do those silver actually, just to make them stand out a little bit more. There we go. Wishy-wash that. Make sure that goes in with the shades this time. I'll probably still fail to find it because that's just what I do. So I'm going to be going till 5 because we had teething troubles at the beginning. So another 10-15 minutes. I will still be painting a little bit off stream. I'm still not happy with this sword. Nothing I do with it.
You want me to have a look?
I've edged it and all sorts and I'm still not happy with it. I just can't get the texture right because the texture went so badly because of all the air bubbles.
Yeah, I see what you mean. The edging that doesn't look right either.
No.
Especially on the side that's closest in front of his face.
Yeah.
That one looks a lot more wonky.
Yeah. I'm not happy with it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I might have to
redo it.
Strip and redo the I just...
Yeah.
It's ever since we found that air bubble and discovered how weak it was.
Yeah.
I've just not been happy with that sword.
I'd safely say redo it. The sword. I know you don't want to.
Oh, I will if I have to.
Yeah.
I am absolutely not happy with it.
It reminds me when you dealt with, what was it, a Castle and Crow's model. And you weren't happy with that sword when you painted it.
Castle Crow.
The Grey Knight guy with the demon blade.
Oh, I remember. And then I discovered a cheat, yeah.
Yeah, and you really weren't happy with the sword.
I'm still not happy with this sword, actually. Now I think back on those Grey Knights.
Yeah.
We're talking. Oh God, I can't remember what edition it was in 2011.
It was 2 editions ago. 2 editions back.
So we're on 10 now. So 10, 8.
8.
So we're on 8. So it's 8th edition.
When-
Castle and Crow of 8th edition.
When they first came out.
So for record, I'm still not happy with it. Mind you, I'll probably put all of his Grey Knights into a tub of a bio strip at some point and clean them all up. Come on, glue. Spread where I want you. Or we're going to get a stick, actually. Just to let them paint them properly. Let's put that on in a minute. Put that in there. And I can get at him with the hairdryer later on and get those bent into place, hopefully. That's assuming that his model will now stay upright.
Especially with the thing being heated on it as well, isn't it?
It's not safe to put on the... Yeah. Right. So that's those bits done. Slowly but surely, we have gradually assembled pieces of the Moritat. The only bit still on its sprue is that backpack, and I think it's time that came off so we can paint it properly. So Got a bit of cleaning up to do, and I'd like to get at it while I still have the Bates coat active. Because I've just noticed horrible bits of fleck underneath that I didn't see until after I painted him. So those of you watching, please make sure you use your tools responsibly. And if you're under a certain age, please make sure you have a responsible adult. Well, I do use the term responsible lightly, but officially. I say lightly because none of us adults like adulting. Cat. It is a cat flap. You headbutt it. You don't sit there knocking it until I come up and go over there and let you out. It is a cat door designed for cats to open on their own. And she's still failing at it. I swear that cat does it on purpose, especially as she's able to do it all night on her own when we're asleep, or trying to sleep anyway.
Tell me about it.
She'll come and meow in a minute, just so you know.
I know, I'm getting ready.
Oh, no, she managed it. Wow. I'm taking a bit of tough love with the cat at the minute, where I'm refusing to do things for her. She's got to figure it out. No, the cat that's trying to get in and out of the cat flap is not the one that bit me. The one that bit me is outside somewhere and hasn't yet figured out the cat flap. Don't worry. He only bit me because he was scared. He's not used to being handled by humans yet. And he didn't know any better. So no, I'm not angry at him. I'm not going to abandon him or do anything horrible like that. I know that being bitten like this comes fully with the territory of dealing with wild animals, especially feral cats. Heck, even your domestic house cat that has never not known having to survive on its own can give you quite a nasty with its teeth or claws, because they carry this bacteria on them. And it's that bacteria that unfortunately is strong in this particular cat that has given me a bit of an infection. So I'm on antibiotics and cleaning out the wound. It's already looking better than it was yesterday, so we're on the right path. I'm not at danger of getting septicemia this time around. There's always the possibility, regardless. Septicemia is also known as cat scratch fever, folks, so be aware of it. It's not a reason
that I might have had that once.
Yeah, I was rather concerned when my partner first joined me here. When my old cat scratched him, that he might get it because he'd never been exposed to cats. If you're exposed to cats, you are less prone to it. You're not immune to it. You're just less prone to it because your immune system is doing its job and it recognises it as a foreign invader to your body and removes it as a foreign entity that is dangerous. And I am not meaning that in an inflammatory or racist way, folks. Just for context, we are talking about bacteriums. And not human beings. So, yeah. Now, I've been exposed to cats from pretty much before I was born. I think my first words were probably cattish, because my dad's old tomcat used to sit in my cradle and wouldn't leave me alone and went absolutely everywhere with me. He was pretty much my best friend until he died when I was 4. And I've always seemed to have a knack with understanding cats particularly. I mean, I understand most animals actually. I do seem to have a gift for dealing with animals, especially wild animals. And it's something that the people I used to work with noticed when I was in the wild animal rescue, that the wild animals don't seem to want to attack me generally. I am saying generally, there's always the exception, and I'm always prepared for the exception. But it's in how I approach them. My secret, honestly, is to speak with intent. Speak with calm, gentle words, and make sure your intent not to harm is well known. And they don't bite. Mostly. I'm not going to say that is a definite foolproof thing, because it is not. There is always the exception, as the feral cat proves. And some wild animals' bites are worse than others. I will say this now, although I also have an affinity with wild horses. Even your humble domestic horse is a deadly adversary if it decides that it is going to not play ball that day and, how to put this, decide to squash you. Horses are far from harmless, people. They are deserving of respect. Every animal is deserving of respect, because every animal has a fight or flight response, and that includes humans, just for reference. Let's get your highlights done, and then we'll redo your sword. But yes, a horse has a particularly nasty fight or flight response, in that it can grab you with its teeth, and then it can crush you with its full body weight, or it can kick you with its nasty hooves. So make sure, and cows are pretty much the same too. I mean, they have horns on top. Make sure when you're out in the countryside or anywhere there's wild animals that you afford them proper and due respect. And don't just go trampling into their territory. You're a stranger to them just as much as you are to, they are to you. You don't know their temperaments, or how they might react to a stranger within their midst. And with wild animals, that's even more random. They might like you, they might not. So always remember that, folks. No matter the size of the animal, give it due respect. Even farmers will tell you that about their cows. Yes, well, cows are generally docile, generally. There is always that one. And always that risk regardless. Also, with wild animals, you have to remember they're not pets. They weren't raised around humans. Their job to fear humans because we're a predator to them. of paint flake then. Not sure where that's come from. These greens will dry in as an accent, so I'm really not happy with that sword.
You're going to have to redo it, I think.
Yeah. I think we'll do that off stream, and I will show him off after stream on another day. So he can go over there, because he's mostly finished except for his cloak now. Right. Where's our Dark Angels? And where is our wash brush? Too much, especially for a cloak. Just need to do the bottom of his cloak. Right, that's his cloak done. And being nice and handy dandy glued onto this thing. I can get all the bits I want to get before I glue certain bits to him. Allowing me to deal with the blue bits now, essentially. Glue a pigment at least this way. There we go. That's that bit done. There we go. Might as well handle him by his sword, considering I'm going to redo it.
Yeah. Shame, really, isn't it?
It's just the way the green stuff's dried. It didn't sand down correctly.
No, it's formed like a wavy line on one side.
Yeah.
And when I looked at it from one angle, it looked like it was bent out of shape really badly because of it. But when I look at it from a different angle, it didn't. You know.
So we'll let those washes dry. Put the lid on this palette so that we don't lose that green paint. That needs basing, but I'm waiting for the glue to dry properly before I do. Okay, so I think it's time to outro. Anyway, you guys want me to raid to? In fact, let's have a look at somewhere to raid to. Let's call up our browser. Okay, so it's asking you to do that on Twitch. It can get knotted. Alright. I'm going to take you all out to Brush Stuff for Hire because he's a good chap. He'd be a good bean. So, right. Brush for Hire. Make sure I spell it correctly. So, P-R-U-A. So, take you got to Brush for Hire. Let's go have a check over on the other platform. And suddenly no point raiding out over there. Okay, I need 10 on the other platform. So I will see you Friday for Fright Night Fridays. That's at 8 PM UK time. And see you over the weekend. I may start increasing my painting streams because, well, they're more fun, frankly, and I've got a lot to catch up on. So I will see you then. Bye for now. If I can find my thing to go bye for now on. You know how it is, folks. Bye for now.